Okay, let's talk about something huge. One of the world's biggest car companies, Suzuki, just made a massive announcement. And trust me, it's a huge bet on the future of India, and it could signal a major shift for the entire global auto industry.
And when I say huge, I mean it. The number that's got everyone talking is 70,000 crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's nearly 9 billion, that's billion with a B, US dollars. A number this big isn't just an investment, it's a massive statement about where they think the future is heading.
So the big question is, right? Where is all that cash actually going? Because it's not just about building a few more factories. This is a really complex plan, designed to completely reshape Suzuki's operations and put India right at the center of the world's move to sustainable transport. So first things first, and this is the biggest piece of the pie, Suzuki is doubling down on its facility in Gujarat. The goal? To turn it into a global production hub for their first ever battery electric vehicle, or BEV. And we're not just talking about cars for India here. Nope, this is about going global from a base in India.
And, this isn't just some memo. This comes straight from the top. The CEO, Toshihiro Suzuki, laid out this vision himself. That phrase, global production hub, is so important. They see their Indian facility not as some regional factory, but as the main launch pad for their EV ambitions worldwide.
But it's the details here that are just wow. We're talking about a planned capacity of 1 million units, and these made-in-India electric cars, they're going to be exported to over 100 countries. But here's the real kicker, the part that makes you go, whoa. That includes Japan and Europe. Think about that. Suzuki is going to build cars in India and then ship them back to its own home market? That is a massive, massive vote of confidence.
All right, so that's the cars. But that's only part one of the plan. 'Cause, let's be real, to be a true EV powerhouse, you can't just assemble the car. You gotta control the heart of the vehicle, the battery. And Suzuki is putting serious money into doing exactly that, right there in India.
And to really get why making batteries in India is such a big deal, you have to understand this one key concept, Atma Nirbhar Bharat. It's a major push from the Indian government to make the nation more self-reliant, especially when it comes to building critical technologies at home.
And Suzuki knows this is a big deal. The CEO didn't just nod to this idea, he called the new battery plant a big salute to this mission of self-reliance. It shows this isn't just about business, it's about forming a deep strategic partnership.
Okay, so what does this localization actually mean in practice? Well, the really important stuff, the lithium-ion battery pack itself, even the individual battery cells, that's all going to be manufactured right there in India. Now, for the time being, some raw materials and certain semiconductors will still come from Japan, but the real heavy lifting, the core value, that's happening locally.
Now you're probably thinking this is all in on electric, right? 100% BEVs. But that's not the whole story. Suzuki's playing a much broader game here. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're actually chasing what they call a multi-powertrain strategy.
And this is where things get really interesting. See, alongside those pure battery electric cars, they're also pouring money into strong hybrids, ethanol flex fuel engines, and even vehicles that run on compressed biogas. Their main goal is carbon neutrality, but they believe the best way to get there is with a mix of different technologies. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
All right, let's just take a step back for a second. We've got this massive investment, a global export plan for EVs, a local battery factory, and a strategy that's not just about electric. So what does it all mean? Why does this announcement matter so much?
Well, here are the big picture takeaways you need to know. First, this is a huge endorsement of India's ability to manufacture world-class products. Second, it helps position the country as an absolutely critical hub in the future EV supply chain. It also deepens an already incredibly strong 40-year partnership between Suzuki and India. And finally, it gives us a real-world peek at how a giant legacy car maker is tackling the very complex puzzle of a carbon-neutral future.
And all of this, it really just leads us to one massive forward-looking question. When you see this level of investment and ambition from a titan like Suzuki, and you pair it with India's own national goals, you just have to ask, are we watching the birth of the world's next electric vehicle superpower? Only time will tell, but this is one heck of a step in that direction.